Hey Burhan, how you doing today?
Hi, Kira. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining me on this LinkedIn Live. I guess we can just give people maybe like 2 or 3 minutes to get settled and join, and then we can go right into our Q&A.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
How was your holiday?
It was good. I went to visit my brother in Maryland.
Oh,
He's an entrepreneur down there, and he runs a virtual kitchen. So I got to spend some time in a commercial kitchen, and that's always a dream for me. So it was fun. How's
awesome.
yours?
Oh, it was good. When you said Maryland, I thought about seafood. Does he run a virtual seafood kitchen, or what type of food is it?
No, it's a little bit of a fusion cuisine. It's called he has something called Crazy Kebab. That's his flagship restaurant there. And then he has Crazy Burrito, Crazy Chick, the kebab joint. He's got a bunch of different restaurants that run in there. So it's a combination of it's ethnically Pakistani food that's fused together with some more it's different styles of food, whether it's Mexican or Afghan or something along those lines. And it's good. It's really good.
I was gonna say I have to check it out for sure.
Yeah.
But okay, I guess we will get started today while others join us. So, just a little background info on Burhan. His career experience entails building a data engineering and martech team from the ground up. Over the last 6 months, him and his team at Time replatformed all of Time.com. So that is the front end, the back end, and pretty much all of the infrastructure. Burhan, is there anything you would like to say about yourself?
Yeah, I'm just really happy to be here. I've been in this space, in the publishing and media space, for longer than I'd like to admit. Every time I try and count the years, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't say that number, but it's something like 24 years. I've been in the space. I started my career at Time Inc., which is no more, and spent plenty of time working with wonderful people at People Magazine, at Entertainment Weekly, and now I'm here at Time. We've got a great team here of product people, engineering people, data people that I've been lucky enough to lead over the last year, and we're doing some pretty cool stuff together. We're going to look forward to talking about that today with you, Yakira.
Awesome. Okay. Well, just wanted to start off with a little bit of a icebreaker, keep things fun. So what is your favorite caffeinated drink?
Well, some people that know me might be surprised by this, but I drink tea every morning. I have something called chai every morning. Even though a lot of people that actually know me know that I'm obsessed with coffee, I actually my body handles tea a whole lot better than it handles coffee. So I save the coffee for the special occasions, but I actually have a cup of chai every morning. That's been a habit since I was a kid, actually.
Okay, no matcha?
I like matcha every once in a while, but no, I'm a English breakfast or like the strong trucker's chai kind of thing, with milk and sugar in it. That's comforting to me every morning, especially when it's as cold as it is in New York right now. It's really nice to have that warm cup to just hold on to next to your
Definitely.
face.
Definitely. Okay, so chai is good. In my research, I did find that you roast specialty coffee. So, how did you get into that? Like, did it derive from your love of coffee or?
Yeah, well, it's very telling of my personality. When I discover something I enjoy, I like to go back to the origin and take it apart. That's how I learned computers. That's how I got into tech. And way back, I don't know, 2014, 2013, something like that, somebody took me to Blue Bottle in Rockefeller Center when we were working at Time Inc., 1271 Avenue of the Americas back then. And I had the New Orleans cold brewed coffee there. And it was nothing like what I ever expected coffee to taste like. Up until that point, my experience had been Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. It tasted like chocolate milk. So I was like, I need to learn how to make this. And so I started on a path at that point, and just trying to make that New Orleans cold brew coffee. And once you start learning about coffee, it just is like a never ending journey. So I went from learning to make cold brew to learning to make hot coffee, understanding the origins of coffee, wanting to open a cafe, um, and then going from there to saying, okay, let me try roasting. I took a roasting class on the day COVID started on March 13th, 2020. Actually, I took a roasting class in Long Island City, and just started roasting coffee there, and did it for a year in a shared roasting facility in Brooklyn. And then I bought a roaster, started roasting on my own, launched Coffee Editor, which is kind of like my side hustle coffee business. And now I actually have that business in my brother's kitchen in Maryland, in his virtual kitchen. The Coffee Editor lives there, and we roast coffee from Ethiopia, from Costa Rica, from Colombia, from all over the world, and it's just the learning never stops. So that's why I love it.
Awesome. So I guess I'll have to go to the virtual kitchen and try some coffee as well.
That's right. We got you covered. Everything.
Okay, one-stop shop.
Exactly.
So, another fun question I have for you. What song would you say describes your leadership style?
I'm really glad you gave me a couple of days to think about this one, Akira, because it really threw me for a loop. I listened to so much music, and most music is not about leadership. It's usually about heartbreak or the opposite of that, right? So, um, but I finally came to one song, um, although there could be a playlist for this, but there's a song by a band called Incubus called "Are You In?" And the words in there are really, it's always better when everyone is in. That's kind of like the theme of the song, and that's my leadership style. I'd like to have everybody commit and be collaborative and all in on the work that they're doing. We have a small but really close team where everybody's in, right? Like, you're in on a project, you're going to do something big, we're going to do it, we're going to get it done, and that just does make everything better. So it's the closest I could come to finding like one song that purely defines it. It also probably dates me quite a bit. So it's a 25-year-old song or something like that. So
And you
there's
said it's
that.
called Are You In?
Are you in?
Okay. It reminds me of the saying, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Teamwork makes the dream work. Exactly. Now,
So
I have a very like broad range of music that I care about, and it's one of the genres that slides in there from the 2000s.
awesome. Okay. Incubus, you said.
Incubus.
Good to know. So, I definitely want to get into some AI stuff with you. As we both know, the space is moving very fast. So what specific areas do you currently focus on where AI and machine learning are, playing a significant role?
Yeah, well, the funny thing about AI is that it's been around for ages, right? We have been using machine learning to build personalization models here at Time for at least 4 years. We have content recommendation engines. We have newsletters that are personalized to consumers using machine learning. So all this was happening before the all the Gen AI stuff from a year ago, right? Um, so there's definitely a role that AI is playing here in those areas. What's exciting though is what's happening with generative AI, in that it's advancing things forward at a speed at which it's almost impossible to keep up. But it also unlocks the potential for us to deliver at a faster pace. And us, when I say us, I'm talking about humans, everyone, right? Like, has the capability to work much faster to get to get stuff done much more efficiently and more, in some cases, more accurately, right? Think about the grammar check in Microsoft Word that used to exist and Google Docs that exists. Think about that on steroids. That's what generative AI is, in the context of even writing, right? So answers to questions, speed to market. I think those are some really key areas that we can focus on.
Okay. So with everything, we are encountering challenges within the AI space, including instances where publishers are blocking, like ChatGPT, and even resorting to legal action. So, what are your thoughts on how generative AI and publishers can work better together?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's complicated, right? And it's like Avril Lavigne, it's complicated. It's one of those things where the LLMs are literally large language models. They would not exist without language, without the things that journalists have written for many, 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 many years. And they need that information in order to be able to become better models. So it's really a complex situation because at the end of the day, we're critical. When I say we, I mean journalists, the media industry is critical to making sure that the LLMs can survive. And I think that the AI companies are starting to recognize that. There's, if we're being frank about it, they've been stealing the content that we've produced for many, many years, right? So we need to, I think the right way to approach is, and this is not new, this is not something that hasn't been done before, but you work out a licensing deal, right? Like you work out a way to license the content where there is attribution, and those technologies don't exist yet, right? So there's been a lot of work done on making sure that the LLMs can answer questions and do fewer hallucinations and so on and so forth. But we still have to solve the problem of attribution and the authenticity of content and verification of content. And I think that's a massive challenge in the industry, but for the world as a whole, especially as we go into an election year in the United States, there's um, you know deepfakes. How do you verify that something is actually real or not? AI can produce such realistic looking content, whether it's imagery or written word, or even videos now, as we see with Sora, that it's going to be, I think the emphasis needs to shift towards verification. And that's something that we're working on in the background. I know some other publishers are really interested in that as well. So it's something I think we'll see this year.
Okay, great. We talk about this whole thing of certain things we see in the industry being a shiny object. And when it comes to AI, I'm sure there are some shiny objects. And I wanted to know from your perspective, what do you think is actual gold versus, a shiny object? Or in other words, what do you think is like overhyped within AI and what's overlooked?
At the at the risk of overhyping it, I think some of the hype is real. I think that if the more you use a ChatGPT or a Gemini, the more you realize how powerful it is. I think that if it didn't live up to the hype, it wouldn't have the adoption that it does today. But that said, I think that some of the stuff that I think might be overhyped, particularly in our space, is that everyone's going to lose their jobs, right? I don't think that's going to happen. That's not something that I can see happening, right? I think that what will happen is that everyone has this tool that allows them to work more effectively and more efficiently at levels of playing field. So there may be people that lose jobs that refuse to adopt the tools, right, and the technology that's available to them. So I don't think. I mean, there's a lot of hype. There's a lot of hype, but there's also a lot of momentum in this space. And as a tech leader, I'm super excited by it. As somebody who works in media, I am a little bit concerned, right? And I have to wear both of those hats, so it's a little bit, it's playing both sides a little bit. But it's something I need to be careful about when I'm thinking about, um, the impact to um, to content in general, right? And the trust that brands like Time have with their consumers and not violating that trust is very important. Um, but there are ways that I'd like to explore further where we put the guardrails in place and make sure that there are checks and balances, fact checks, all that continues to remain, while still being able to use this technology and leverage it to gain a competitive advantage.
Right. And I guess one takeaway I got from your answer here is we have to look at the cup half full, not half empty when it comes to AI.
Got to be optimistic. Yeah, absolutely. Um, and going back to the original question about what's overlooked, um, it's something I spoke about a little bit earlier, but I think that this problem with deepfakes is overlooked, right? The problem with authenticating content or the verification of the sources of content is overlooked. I think Perplexity AI is doing a really good job of attributing sources. We've seen some of that in Google search generative experience as well. I think there are platforms that are starting to come on board and identify the sources of where they're getting their data in line, right? And I think that's really cool. I think the other thing that's overlooked is that it's the other side of the coin of the overhyped, but we, the entire set of knowledge of the universe is now at your fingertips outside of Google search, right? Like it's democratization of knowledge at like the highest level, and that level sets the playing field for everybody, right? You can be anybody and have full access to be able to answer a question about anything. And to me, that's really, really powerful. And I think that's a little overlooked in that it's going to help so many more people get to a level of knowledge and intellect that they otherwise may not have had the opportunity to get to. That really excites me.
Definitely. It was the first Google search we had, not Google, the first search we had was Google, right? And now they say that TikTok is a more powerful search engine than Google. And now we have AI. So, but is there anything else that you would like to add? We are looking forward to your keynote session in Austin. So, is there anything else you would like to add about that?
Really excited to be able to present. We're going to dive in pretty deep there. We're going to talk about ethical considerations. We're going to talk about. I'd love to be able to provide a list of tools, right, that people can use in many different facets of the media workplace. So whether it's ad tech or whether it's sales or whether it's technology, there's so many different job functions that exist. So I hope to be able to touch upon a bunch of them. I'd love to hear from people on this, on the LinkedIn Live, on what you might want to learn about what we're doing and what I can share for the presentation. Just really, really excited to be there and chat with other publishers also. I mean, I don't have all the answers. This is not one of those things where, one company or one person knows what they're doing. I think we have to all come together, and the more we talk, the more we have conversations like this, the more we'll be able to learn and provide a unified front when it comes to this.
Okay, awesome. So I don't think we received any questions just yet, but if people have follow-up questions, please comment on this LinkedIn Live post. The recording will be available. Lynn says workflow is going to be a big question. What do you think about that, Burhan?
Workflow is the best way to start, right? Like there's so many opportunities to improve how we work. optimize how we work. So Lynn's spot on. I think that's going to be a really big one. We'll dive into. Yeah, my workflow is just ask ChatGPT every 5 minutes on what I'm working on, right? But there's better ways to do it, and we'll explore those better ways.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your time today. This was amazing, and I look forward to listening to your keynote session in Austin.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. And thank you, Yakira, for hosting this. I really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing you in a week or two.
Right. Time is flying.
Right.
But have a good day. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.